be sad. Learn to deal with your reality. In this life, if you inwardly disparage something you can't have, its value will diminish for you. And if you are contented with not getting something that you really wanted, then your heart will find solace. Allah will give us of His bounty and also His messenger from alms, etc. We implore Allah to enrich us. I once read about a man who fell out of a window. The ring he was wearing became stuck around a nail that wasn't nailed down completely on the ledge, and consequently, his ring finger was pulled from its root, leaving him with 4 fingers. The amazing thing is not the incident itself, but the contentment shown by the man long after the accident. Contentment that is illustrated in the following words. It hardly ever crosses my mind that I have 4 fingers on one hand, or that I have lost a finger. It only comes back when I remember the accident. Otherwise, my work is going well, and I am contented with what happened. Allah has made His decree, and as He pleases, He does. I know a man who lost his left arm as a result of a disease. He has lived for many years since. He got married and has children. He drives his car without difficulty and performs the various tasks of his work with ease. He is so at ease that it is as if Allah created him with only one arm to begin with. Be content with what Allah has portioned out for you, and you will be the richest of people. How quickly we adapt to our circumstances, and it is amazing how we adapt our thinking when a change in lifestyle is imposed upon us. 50 years ago, a house consisted of a carpet made of palm tree leaves, a jug for water, a small amount of coal, and a few other paltry items. People managed as they do now, and a lack of resources or comfort did not make life any less important than it is now. An Arab poet said, "The soul desires more if you encourage it, but it returns to contentment when it is disciplined." A battle between 2 tribes in the central mosque of Kufa broke out when members of each tribe began to hurl insults at each other's tribe. A man who was in the mosque stealthily made his escape in order to seek out Al-Anaf ibn Qais, who was recognized by all as a consummate peacemaker. The man found him in his house milking a goat. Al-Anaf was dressed in a garment that was not even worth 10 dirhams. That is, it was ragged and cheap. He was emaciated, haggard-looking, and one of his legs was longer than the other, which gave him a bad limp. When he was informed of the news, no change became manifest on his countenance, and he remained calm. This display of fortitude stems from the fact that Al-Anaf had witnessed much strife and hardship during his life, and consequently he became used to such an occurrence. He told the man, "By the will of Allah, everything will be all right." He then began to take his breakfast as if nothing had happened. His breakfast consisted of a morsel of dry bread, oil, salt, and a glass of water. He mentioned Allah's name and ate. Then he praised Allah and said, "Wheat from Iraq, oil from Syria, water from Dajla or Tigris, and salt from Merv. Verily, these are great blessings." He put on his clothes, took his walking stick, and made his way to the people. When they saw him, their gazes became fixed on him, and they listened attentively to what he had to say. He said words of peace and of compromise, words that pleased both sides, and he requested them to depart and go their own ways. They all acquiesced, and each of them left without a trace of rancor remaining in their heart. And in this way the ordeal ended peacefully. An Arab poet said, "One can reach nobility even if his clothes are tattered and his pocket is patched." There are many lessons to be learned from this narrative. One of them is that greatness is not in appearance of clothes. Other lessons are that having few material possessions is not an indication of misery, and that happiness does not reside in comfort and wealth. As for man, when his Lord tries him by giving him honor and gifts, then he says, puffed up, "My Lord has honored me." But when he tries him, by straightening his means of life, he says, "My Lord has humiliated me." Another lesson we should take away from the narrative is that a person's character and qualities are the yardstick of his worth, and not his clothes, shoes, or house. His worth is weighed by his knowledge, generosity, and manners and deeds. Verily, the most honorable of you with Allah is that believer who has at-taqwa, who is pious. The connection between the narrative and the subject matter of this book is that happiness is not found in opulence, mansions, gold, or silver. Instead, happiness is something that manifests itself in the heart through faith, contentment, and knowledge. So let not their wealth or their children amaze you. Say, in the bounty of Allah and in His mercy, that is Islam and the Quran, therein let them rejoice. That is better than what the wealth they amass. Train yourself to surrender your will to whatever is decreed for you. What will you do if you do not believe in the decree of Allah? Whatever you plan other than complete submission to Allah's divine decree will provide no benefit for you. And so you may ask, what is the solution to hardships? The solution is to say sincerely, "We are contented, pleased, and have surrendered our wills." Wheresoever you may be, death will overtake you even if you are in fortresses built up strong and high.